What's up, guys? Today this is kind of simple for me, but maybe it's not simple for everybody, so it's always good to be able to see how to do it. I'm going to be replacing the shackles on my 2005 Xterra. 2005 to what, 2015, should be the same for Frontiers as well. Um, Most of you are probably going to take off the shackles to put on a lift shackle, which I did have at one point. But my current lift shackles are just too much lift, so I have stock shackles on, which I kind of broke one or damaged it, so I figured let me get some of these Robinson greasable shackles. They're actually stock height, which is good for me. It's not good for that many people, but it's good for me. Then I can grease them so they'll squeak less, although I don't get too much squeak with the polyurethane bushings that I've got. But yeah, so let's go ahead and walk through it, and I will show you what I do. I'm going to do the driver's side, passenger side the same. You just have to loosen the exhaust a little bit to get a little bit of room because it's right in the way. So let's go ahead and go. Of course, whenever you're doing a job like this, you'd like to wait for the weather to be as cold as possible. Snow, always good plus to know that it's the right time to do the job. Don't wait till it's warm and nice and your fingers don't hurt while you're working on the car. That's just not the right way to do it. You got to suffer a little bit. So basically, we're going to replace this piece here. These studs are pressed in here. Most of the time they come out whole. Sometimes they don't, depending on how much you use your equipment. So first thing we're gonna do, I believe it's a 17 millimeter. I already started. We want to get these nuts off here. You know how they are. They think they're loose until you go to spin them by hand, and then they're not. And that is the easy part. Mine have been off not that long ago because I had to replace the leaf springs when I broke them. Yours probably haven't. So you know, I'm gonna be honest. Get ready for a fight. You might look like Jake Paul after this. Now this will come off. Look at that, huh? One thing I have to mention is you do need to jack up the truck so there's no weight on the leaf springs. You want the arch there. Otherwise, it's not going to come off that easy. You know, you might need to get creative. Of course, I've got jack stands holding it up to make it safer that you can't see. So now we're going to work on getting this out. And sometimes you need to just work on the level of the truck until there's no tension, and it'll come out easier. You can see I've done this before. It's bent a little there. You know, you can pry them, whatever you think is right. Hit it with a hammer first. Let's get dead blow hammer. I'm going to pretend like I'm saving these and may never use them again. These ones are going in the trash for me, but you know, dead blow is always a good. All right, so I think the tension might be off. You can kind of see how it's hanging down a little bit. So let's see if we jack it up just a bit. You can actually see it's in there straighter now, which means it's not being pulled down. Yeah. And honestly, if that comes out, I wouldn't sweat it too much. It's actually easier to take it apart that way. And eventually, what I had to do on the other one is I'm going to take a rod and pop that out with the hammer. So I'll be back. Now we just have to get this one off, and you see it's in there pretty tough. So I'm probably gonna have to do the same thing I did with the, yeah. All right, slowly but surely. You see this thing's like so stuck in there, and I did grease them up before I put them in. This is one reason I want to go with these greasable shackles. I think there's OME, who's ARB now, and then these Dobinsons. I mean, I picked these because I got a good deal on them, so no other reason. But you'll see that you can lube them up, give them a couple pumps of grease every couple months or so, I guess. So let me keep working on getting this out. It's a two-hand job, hammer and, you know, hammer, rod. So yeah, give me another couple minutes. And there you have it. Shackle's out. You can see these Davidsons are same basic geometry, even the thickness. Like I said, most people are going to put lift shackles on. I am not. So let me go ahead and I'll show you how to put these on. First, we're going to just do a little bit of lube here. Make sure the grease you're using is appropriate for your bushing. With the polyurethane, I have a special grease, and they're going to come apart two-piece, just similar to the stock ones. These are tack welded together though, so they should stay together better. All right, so the instructions say you can lube this part, and that's really all you need to lube. This is really mainly to assist with the installation. So you do have to get them both in the same time, so you might have to adjust. Like, look, I've got to bring that spring up, which means I got to bring the body down a little bit. Just a little bit. Oh, that's too much. It's okay. We can just lift it right back up. There we go. Because that way we can push them both in at the same time. There we go. And I'm just gonna tap them in. So nice working with new stuff. I'm so used to old parts. This is like a joy. It's not even going that smooth. All right, so let's just get the hardware on there. Comes with the lock washer, new hardware, and we get it on enough, it'll pull itself in. And then basically we'll just tighten it up, put it back on the ground, and torque it to spec. So we'll just kind of snug it down. We'll let it get on the ground. I mean, any type of suspension stuff, you really shouldn't tighten it until you're sitting at ride height, because, you know, that's where it's going to live most of the time. So that's what we'll do. I think the torque setting was like 90. See, it was pretty simple. This actually went way smoother than I was expecting. All right, nice and snug. So let's go ahead and bring it down on the ground, and then we'll torque them. All right, the torque spec is 90. Probably doesn't matter, but I usually like to bring things down evenly. There we go. Okay, torque to 90. All right, so we got to put the grease fittings in. Obviously, you don't need to send these things home too much. Just get them good and tight. Hopefully they're safe up here. I should probably get some spares, because I've been known to break weird stuff, and I could see myself finding a rock in the perfect spot to take this lower one out at least. Get them snug. There we go. All right, so we've got our new shackle installed. This, like I said, is a greasable from Davidson's. Pretty nice product. There's another greasable one out there. Again, these are stock height. If you're looking for lift, you're going to want to go to like Z1 or one of the other All Dogs, all the people that make different products. They also have, you know, stock ones like these if you need with the grease. Well, hopefully this helps somebody out there who maybe hasn't done something like this before. I know this may be not one of the hardest things I've done, but you know, we all have to start somewhere, and you should see the simple things I screw up sometimes. I mean, you just ask my friends, or, you know, look, I'm sure there'll be some videos coming up this summer of stuff that breaks because of somebody screwing something up. That somebody might be me. But hey, thanks for watching. If you like this, give it a like, give me a follow, all that stuff that they tell me I'm supposed to say. So keep warm. Thanks, guys.